Lunch Have you got any grease? Yes. Yes, we do. Then grease me up, woman.
You've been working on that for a little bit, haven't you?
I've been working on that this morning and a little bit of last night. So, yeah, if you guys ever need a Scottish accent impersonation, specifically groundskeeper Willie, I'm there.
Like Scots and other Scots. Benny's a Scot.
Benny's a Scot, is he?
Yeah, he's a Scot.
Scots are actually so friendly, man. I remember when I was in Glasgow, I went to one of the best clubs in the world that I've ever been to. It was just only lit by candles. And I went there with someone from back in Australia. We met up over there when I was living in England. And I remember getting there. This is a little bit harsh, but she was being a massive downer. And I was just there. I was overseas. I wanted to party.
You were ready to leave straight away. You picked up on the vibe and you're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. So we got to the club together because obviously we booked an Airbnb or whatever together. And so we got there. And instantly, as soon as we entered the club, I just split. I just dipped. I'm like, I'm gonna go make some friends. And in my head, I rationalized it because I was like, no, you know what? She's down. She's feeling crap. I've tried to talk her through it in the pre-drinks. I've tried to get her drunk. I've tried to G her up. She's feeling really homesick. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna leave her to her own devices. This will be a massive challenge for her, and she just needs this. I felt like she needed it as a woman.
How'd you go?
So. About an hour later, we bumped into each other. I tried to do the whole glance and then try to like keep going.
Try to dart off and leave it behind.
Yeah, tried to do that.
Didn't even offer her a drink.
No, so I sound like such a dog. But yeah, I saw her and she was talking to people, man. She was in the smoking area. She was making some friends and stuff, and I was like, she swum. She could have sunk or swum, but she swam. And I gave her that opportunity, right?
SWARM, swam.
Swam. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, funny.
Swam.
You swam. Yeah. So that was my story of doggery when I was in Glasgow. Speaking of Scots.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of stories along the way of doggery and heroism.
Mm-hmm.
Heroism.
Yeah, heroism. That works, man.
So that was our intro to our podcast it's episode 1. We're in party shirts. Yeah. We're going to have as much of a laugh as possible. We're going to cover a lot of broad stuff. It's not going to be a fine brush. It's going to be a very broad brush. So come along for the ride and enjoy.
Yeah, let's do it, guys.
So, George, I've got an icebreaker question for you.
Hit me.
Would you rather spend 2 weeks in a prison cell, and the moment that it's done, you get released, or spend as long as possible, could be short, could be long, in a prison cell with a Rubik's Cube, and as soon as the Rubik's Cube's solved, you're out?
Yeah, right, okay. So Rubik's Cube, I mean, I'm very impatient. I'm very, very impatient, and each day that you stay in that prison is the more and more rapes that will occur on your body, right? Do I back myself? Do I back my smarts to be able to solve this Rubik's Cube? In a situation like that, I think, hell yeah. I think I could do that within the 2-week period and maybe only subject myself to...
You reckon that you completely bear in the situation? You're in a high security Guantanamo prison, or are we playing low security country prison in Victoria where you've got access to, we'll say, minimum books? Because I reckon that if I reckon that I would back myself in. If I got access to books, I reckon I'm just going to do it myself.
Just do the 2
Internet
weeks?
is probably a little bit cheating. I reckon if you can look it up, because you can look it up how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and you'd be out of there in a day.
Correct.
But a book, I'm terrible with instructions. Shocking. So
yeah, you're much
following
more
the
of a leader. Yeah.
Following the play-by-play of how to do it, I reckon I would struggle a little bit. But definitely, with books, I would definitely give it a crack.
Okay, so you're saying if you could...
And you can't remove the stickers and just replace them.
Well, yeah, that would be my go-to if I'd reached the extreme of every emotion and I hadn't solved it.
You've ripped off the sticker. There is no longer a solving of the Rubik's Cube. You're stuck in there forever.
Oh, fuck that, man. Prison scares the fuck out of me. So, no, I would definitely try... I would back myself, actually.
Yeah.
Just to do the Rubik's Cube. I don't care about what entertainment is there, to be honest. I just want to solve that Rubik's Cube and get out of there. Definitely do not want to go to prison. That would be...
Prison's
so
perspective,
shit.
though, isn't it? Prison is all perspective. If someone said to you and they said, "Hey, I've got a life for you. You can hang out with your friends 4 hours a day. You get to do 2 gym sessions. You get to spend time studying every day, and you get to read every day, and you don't have to go to work." Oh, and this was the other thing that was involved in it. 3 meals sorted, and you get to have sex every day.
Yeah. Depends what type of sex that you enjoy.
I don't reckon you're enjoying that one.
So look,
but it's perspective, though.
That's a pretty good sell that you've given me. Only problem is what I know about humans.
The confines of the 4 walls are probably not as enjoyable, though, to be fair.
No, what I know about humans is, so one of our, I think Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what is at the top is self-actualization, and that's reaching your potential, right? So as humans, if we're not feeling like we're reaching our potential, there's something that's eating away at us on the inside that's like, fuck, like I'm not doing that thing, I'm not going anywhere. Like you're in prison, yes, you're existing, yes, you're thriving, you're reading, but like, are you reaching your potential that you know that you can hit? No, you're not. So you're going to be internally sad, and I know it's going to be a thing, even though you might have that cushiness of the 3 meals a day.
Even the studying in prison, your ability to further your learning.
Yeah, but then you've got to be able to, as a guy,
practice it.
You've got to be able to impact others. Like that's what I fucking love about what I do with PT and with Myo is like I'm impacting people every single day. That's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
In prison, like who are you impacting?
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Impacting.
Yeah. Apart from getting impacted.
Apart from getting impacted on. Lol, it's sodomy.
Okay, so
Just had to spell that one out. Yeah.
As far as your impact on other people, you're a PT, you're a myotherapist. Which side do you prefer more?
It's a question I often get asked a lot of the time. So they're 2 very different things. PT is a massive emotional exchange in whereby I'm trying to get someone to really care about their fitness, care about their health. And sometimes that can be really frustrating when they don't. And it can also kind of be hurtful a little bit. It's like, hey, I'm putting in all this effort with you, and then you're kind of doing X, Y, Z. Maybe you're not following a program. Maybe you're doing this. By not following a program, maybe
that's hard. That is hard. That is hard. When you're putting so much out there and you're not getting something back from something that you love and you want something better for somebody. They come to you with a problem. They've said, hey, I want to get fitter. I want to get stronger. I just want to lose weight. I just want to feel better by moving. And the moment that you invest so much time into them, as like I work with you, not quite to some degree that other people do.
Just casual, yeah.
As a casual, you write some plans for me, which are fantastic, by the way. And sometimes you even get upset at me that I'm maybe not logging in as often as I should.
Yes.
But the fact that you care as much as what you do just shows how good you are at what you do.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm extremely passionate about what I do, and I really care deeply.
Yeah.
And that's great because I can cheer you on and it can be amazing, but it also means that like if you're having a low,
fuck up,
like I'm having that low as well. Like I can't help but feel what others are feeling when I'm training them.
Are you an empath?
Definitely an empath, yeah. So I love to heal, obviously with Myo and stuff, and like when you're going through something, like that's my issue.
Yeah.
When you have wins, man, I said this to you about sort of 6 months ago. Like I froth that shit. I remember I got you a job at a gaming venue, Phoenix, back in the day.
Only for us to fuck it up eventually.
Only for us, we fucked it up. We definitely should not work together. Not much work.
To be fair, I
happens.
did keep you in the job as well, though.
You did.
I can't take all the credit for that. That was largely my brother's idea as well. Yeah.
No, so for us playing along at home, or for those playing along at home, me and Brandon, I won my grand final, and we went into work.
Under 18s grand final. It was a big deal.
Massive deal. We went into work drunk.
I don't know how cut we were, but
we weren't that drunk. We'd had a few, a
Yeah.
little bit tipsy, whatever.
The
right?
work policy was 0-0.
Of course. Highly illegal what we were doing.
I don't know if it was highly illegal. I don't think I've had that in any other workplace.
Yeah.
Maybe it's expected.
I don't know.
And I don't think that we were that pissed.
I think it's an RSA thing, man. I think you can't serve alcohol if you're... But then...
I wasn't pouring my own fucking beers.
What do you mean, man? Your mouth is like...
I was doing the Barney Gumble.
We've all done that at a club from time to time.
In particular, one friend of ours that has done that more often than not.
Who's that? Is it... Oh, we won't... Yeah. Let's name names. Let's expose them. No, let's not do that. Shit. So, yeah, we went into work inebriated. And then one of the guys that we were working with
Tog!
fucking
Tog!
dogged us. Obviously never heard of Bro Code. You know, we get along with this guy. We had similar interests. We both played 2K sports. Like, him coming to work and like getting to work with us and us getting to work with him was fun, right?
It was a privilege for him.
We were the lads, right? It was absolute privilege. And
I
then
like, fuck.
I know.
I don't care that I was 18, 19. I was an absolute rat bag. I wasn't. I'm still not cool, but like then definitely wasn't cool. Yeah. But anyway.
What was it? Just high testosterone. I feel like we had more to prove for some reason because we were young and unestablished.
Had absolutely nothing going for us.
Yes. But we were doing okay, working in gaming venues and shit. But anyway, yeah, we got found out, and Brandon had his interview.
I was first. I had my first interview. They said, bring a support person. I said this to my brother. And he's like,
person. We're going to fuck you up. Bring a support person.
I reckon you're in a bit of trouble here, he said. I reckon I might come with you. I said, okay. So we go in, and the owner of the pub at the time sits us down and sort of said, you know, what happened? What'd you do? Like, and I said that, you know, I had a couple of beers after the grand final, and then we came into work. And you sort of quickly pulled up the policies. A quick reminder that you are to be the 0-0. And he said, you know, thank you, but like that's where it ends. I said, okay. So I get out and I said to George, who had a meeting afterwards.
Straight after.
George, I'll let you tell that part, but you didn't go in with a support person to protest your innocence about, I don't need a support person. I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. I went in there without a support person. I said to him, they're going to pull you up on the one policy where they can sack you straight away is that you sign a contract to say that you're going to be 0-0. Deny,
baby.
And my brother was very firm, and he said, and if George says that he wasn't drinking, they can't sack him. So please tell how you've entered the meeting, you've sat down, put us in that position.
Yeah. So we got in there. So the guy that was running the meeting, behemoth bloke. We're talking 6'5", 6'6". 140 kegs. Like,
publican but never shown.
Yeah. And like, one of those people that are just slow to please. Like, you can do a heap of stuff, but they're just never actually thinking that you're doing good, you know? Mind you, I was probably never doing good back then, so it's kind of fair, right? And so we get in there, and I'm just like chilling, and he's asking me, you know, about the grand final and where I was at, because I posted a photo to my Facebook of me holding a glass with the beer, not touching my lips yet, but here, and I was like, yeah, fuck, like, we won our granny.
It was a can of VB, was it not? Not to pull you up on the story, but a can of VB.
No, it was a pot. It was a pot. Okay. It was a pot.
I was there with you. I had one, and we were photoed with somebody else, I believe.
Yeah, so there was photo evidence of this alcohol.
We're going to try and get the photo up as well. We'll
try and get it, yeah. Might be on my old Facebook that I had to delete because I used to post some controversial statuses. Anyway, and so he was like, I know you've been drinking. I was like, I didn't drink, because Brandon had told me, deny, you'll lose your job. And I said, I did not drink. I drove my dad's Jaguar to that game. It was parked there. I would never jeopardize his vehicle. Mind you, I'd taken it out in the middle of the night and spun around in it and fucking sped and shit. So I had, but I was saying or acting like I just was this really self-righteous person that I would never do something like that and that I wasn't drunk and that it was all false. So denied it.
Him slapping the photo out on the table and being like, I have proof that you were drinking. Here is you in photo with beer.
And I said, the beer isn't in my mouth. I said, that was just for photo's sake. I was just
doing
it. Just doing it for photo's sake. It was. I
was just trying to be cool.
You know what I said? I said it was a prop. Oh, it was that good. And I got to keep my job.
Yeah.
Should not have. Got fired soon after.
It was a while after. I'd been at the Cats Club for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe like 6 months or something. But yeah, 6 months, and you know, it was a good paying job. So I was, well, for me at that time. So it was nice. It was nice to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was our idiocy.
Good time.
I don't know how we got onto that, but yeah, celebrate your wings. What do I like better, Mayo or PT? Right. So Mayo is great because people come in for a service. They're there for that hour. It's an exchange, yes, but I give them that service. It's done, right? PT is more of a around the clock. I got to troubleshoot issues. I a psychology degree would be amazing to go with this.
Do you feel like you're a therapist half the time with your clients?
A lot of the time for sure. A lot of the time you're there to just listen and just sort of take on that energy. So what I do outside of work in terms of restoring myself with recovery, my training is like so crucial. I can't keep going like if I don't do stuff to offset what I sort of take on.
Yeah.
But I take it on gladly, and even when I'm outside of work, if I'm with a friend or something, like I will take on their stuff. I love it. I love helping. I believe that's one of my purposes. So,
introvert or extrovert?
I would be an extrovert. I would say extrovert for sure. Yeah.
So there's two degrees to this: introvert and extrovert, obviously. But how you recharge your batteries as an introvert and as an extrovert. So for me, I'm an extrovert to extrovert. So I have to be around people. And it's not because I don't like my own company.
Yes.
I enjoy doing things by myself. I enjoy running errands. I enjoy, listening to my own music, singing in my car, all that sort of stuff that I do enjoy being by myself. But to recharge my batteries, I enjoy being around other people, like in a more relaxing environment as well.
That's very true.
Like just hanging out or having dinner with the boys or, just spending time with somebody or going around and hanging out with my mum and dad for a little bit. Just recharging that way, spending time with Cam in the house or wherever that looks like. Dude, that's my recharge.
Yeah,
I find. Do you feel like how do you feel like as an extrovert introvert or extrovert extrovert?
I'll answer that in a sec, but I just wanted to make a comment on what you said. So I find that really interesting, man, because your business is obviously really client facing. You have a massive energy exchange with people, and you're also talking to them about something that makes people feel very anxious, which is money. So you're doing those conversations all day long. So I really find it fascinating, and I actually really admire the fact that you recharge by further being around more people.
It's interesting because I work from home probably 80% of the time. We've got an office that's in Newtown, and part of why I like to work at home is, one, I need music. I need something ticking over in my head all the time. I really struggle to work without music. I think that really plays into the ADHD side of me more than anything. That if I don't have something that's ticking me over, it like straightens my brain out a little bit to be able to have something just going. So music is a big help for that, and that's really hard to play in the office. If I'm in the office, I'm obviously, being an extrovert, I'm a chatterbox as well. So then large part of it, I can come home from the office and have more to do than what I went in with the day, which can be a little frustrating. That you have
goes
to
to work, comes home, has more work.
Have more work
stop
to do
chatting.
Because it's a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do go into the office and I'm like, okay, I've just got to get work done. And especially without music, I'm like, I've got to concentrate extra hard. But back to the music thing, what I find fascinating is that it stops me from procrastinating. If I find that I procrastinate even in my own solo environment, when music hasn't been playing, I'll get off a phone call with the bank or a client or something like that. And there'll be a quiet environment, and I need to fill that quiet environment with maybe a scroll or by texting somebody or something like that. And then all of a sudden I'll be sitting there going, what am I doing? How long's it been? And why isn't there music playing?
Yeah.
And as soon as I put that music back on, I'm like, okay, I can work again.
Almost like when you enter a room or whatever, and you know you're going to be there for somewhat of an extended period of time, and it's like, I want to enjoy this space the most, and a part of that is music.
Yeah.
But also a different perspective, man. I watched this guy on YouTube. He was talking about that we also listen to too much music, which is very true because it takes us away from that stillness and that, I guess, boredom that can arise from having music. Because if you've always got music on, you're actually drowning out some thoughts that can come up. So when there's total silence, you will process things that have happened in your day-to-day or with a relationship or with a friend. That will come to surface. If music's always on, you're getting that hit. You're never actually facing it. It's kind of like how people use substance.
Yeah.
They use substance to escape some thoughts. So that's a different perspective that was offered to me from a YouTube video. Do I follow not listening to music? No, but I have gone through periods of time where I've experimented.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Did I touch Willie? Good advice.
Yeah. No, I'll always be transparent with what I say. Like, I know a lot about self-development. Yeah. Do I do all of it? No, I don't do all of it. But I do know there are these tools and tricks, and you can use them sometimes from time to time.
Do you sit in silence?
Yeah, if I drive home from work,
After a long day.
there's nothing.
How much thought is going on when you're sitting in that silence, though, or you're just happy to be in the environment where there is nothing going on?
I guess it depends. It depends on the day, but there definitely is a lot of thought, and I need to be in that silence for those thoughts to not happen too much.
Yeah. Nothing worse than when you're sitting in silence, and like I can definitely find it when I'm with certain people that someone might say to me at some point, "What are you thinking about?" I'm like, "Bitch, I'm just in my own fucking thoughts. Just let me go for a little bit." Like it's fine. Just let it relax.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that sounds like someone they're nervous about the silence. They're thinking that maybe you're reconsidering the arrangement that you guys are in, or the date that you're on, or whatever's happening, and that they need that validation that everything's okay.
Yeah.
So that would be someone with an anxious attachment style who needs that anxious validation. That's what I reckon.
I've actually found, and I got a really good life lesson from somebody that I actually value to a T, and I love it. And I think I've spoken about it with you, is that, and this is, I think a lot of females have seen this sort of online, about being the fun. So you have to establish when you are with somebody, are they fun, or are you projecting the fun on them?
Yeah.
It's huge. And like, I like to think I'm pretty fun. I'm pretty outgoing, adventurous, pretty chatty. And whenever I'm with someone new, now, since being told this information, if I'm having a good time, I'll sit in silence until I can see that somebody else can carry the conversation.
So it's a massive green flag for you if someone can carry a conversation and it's not you having to bring the noise, bring in the energy. Because you know you can do that. You've done it before. And now you're starting to get more curious about the people that are entering your life.
I think it's huge, like to understand, and I think that you're probably pretty similar, as you're pretty outgoing as well. Are you projecting fun onto somebody? Because what you're going to end up being is that longer term, if you're with someone that you've been projecting fun on for so long, so what happens when it gets a little bit stale or it gets a little bit boring? Are they able to pick it up and be like, let's do bang, bang, bang?
Yeah, which is going to happen, right?
Yeah,
because you're going to be up sometimes, they're going to be down. You've got to have that ability to razz each other up. Question for you, ma'am. Why do you think they say opposites attract? Do you believe opposites attract, or would you rather someone with similar mindset, things they enjoy doing? Yeah.
I've actually given this a fair bit of thought recently. I can understand how opposites attract, about how people balance each other out, but everyone's different. Like, everyone has their own thing. Everybody wants different things. I need someone that's like me. I am very, very sure of that. I think I've, like, without going into it today, but like I've pinpointed the exact kind of person that I need for me to keep me engaged, sort of space. But I can definitely understand how someone would want someone to balance them out. And I think that you need someone that balances you out in certain things, but a complete opposite person for me is a nightmare. Is an absolute nightmare for me. Because I don't like to stay home. I don't want to sit on the couch and watch movies every night of the week and
What's for dinner?
I think that's ultimately a battle that you're going to have regardless of the person that you're with.
Oh yeah.
I reckon that argument's still got to roll around. I reckon you'd understand that. You're in a relationship. You're the only man here in the relationship. Do you still have the arguments around who wants for dinner?
It's usually just the you choose. It's like, I'll have anything. So why don't you choose?
Tacos? No, I don't feel like that.
Yeah.
Chicken? Well, that could be good. What are we having chicken in, though?
To be honest, I think it's a very boring conversation. As over the past few years, I've obviously tried to enhance my physique for work. Food has become this thing. I used to be very connected to it and understood that it was a bit of a social glue, gets people together, yada yada. But what I've started to realize about social situations in terms of drinking, eating crazy food, I used to think those moments were special because of those things that we were ingesting and consuming. I now know that I'm at those things because I want to hang out with you. I want to talk to you. Yeah. I don't care what I'm eating. I eat 4 times a day. That's something I do 4 times a day. How often do I see you per week? Once or twice, maybe, right?
Yeah.
that is my main focus. And I think people really get wrapped up in this whole, they think they're losing a part of themselves or losing a part of their life when they go on a diet or they do this. Like, you want food to be this background noise thing.
Yeah, I understand
right?
it.
It's
Yeah.
about the people. It's
Yeah.
about the conversations. Like, that's what's important. Putting
Yeah.
your phone down. Like,
How do you feel if you were with somebody, and I already know that you're going to be like, I need someone to support me in what I want to do and do that sort of side of things. Whether you like it or not, you're going to run into a partner at some stage that's going to have those conversations with you. Because you don't want someone to feel isolated and say to you, well, like, fuck, am I left to fend for myself sort of thing? Know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
because I mean, like, anyone that dates me, like, we're not going to be sharing meals together. Like, I'm going to be eating my diet, and I will cook for you every day if you like, but it will be these meals. I literally will do it though. No, I do not mind doing my meal prep. I love it. It really gets me going. I can do
would
that.
you meal prep for somebody else?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Be like, here's your meals for the week.
Yeah, I would do that.
We can have our
100%.
meal prep together.
Because I know if they've got it on lock, I'm not going to be influenced by stuff that they're
not
doing,
waning off.
and I'm not going to be waning off my plan.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it supports me. It sounds like a really selfish motivation to give someone food, but fuck it, that's who I am. That's what I need, and
Facts.
yeah, I'm self-aware. Fuck it.
It's
Yeah.
important. It is
Yeah.
important. At least that you know what you're working back with anyway.
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, it's very rare that you would find someone that would be as dialed in as kind of what I am. I know it's not realistic,
Yeah.
but I would like at least, say maybe I'm a 10 out of 10 in terms of how dialed I am. If someone can be like a 7, cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Niche hobby that you have, and what do you love most about it?
I wouldn't really call it a hobby at the moment, but what has consumed my mind outside of work has been decorating my house and interior design.
What a job that you've done.
Thank you, sir.
And what a job that you've done.
Yeah.
It's the spaceship, man.
I know. So I was joking about it a few months ago that I wanted to make my home look like a spaceship, right? I just like funny jokes. I like expressing my personality in my house. I think serious interior design is beautiful and amazing, but I want to have a laugh, but also feel the vibes when I'm in my house. So the theme I rolled with was Japanese cyberpunk. So I've got a lot of Japanese themed shit in my house, certain wood colors, whatnot. Anime stuff, anime themes. And then I've just got a ton of LEDs. So it's trying to make it like a spaceship. Think Blade Runner meets Tokyo. That's kind of the vibe that I'm kind of going for. Yeah. Yeah.
Dark but lit up.
Yeah. And also making it a wellness retreat. Recently put in like an ice bath, a sauna.
What's your plan around that?
Plan around that is to... Well, we're talking about recharging before, right? Am I an extrovert, introvert? How do I recharge? I think I am a little bit of an introvert in terms of how I recharge. Yep. So these things are really important to me. Recovery measures, exposing myself to the extremes that nature and life has to offer.
Cool.
As you know, Brandon,
Yep.
I'm very much an extremist. I want to...
The man does not know moderation. He has no idea what the word means.
No, I know.
No idea what it means.
It's a great thing if we can funnel it towards good stuff.
Yes.
But... yeah, I mean, this is a reason why people ask me, like, are you ever going to get on steroids? Are you ever going to do that? It's like, I know myself. I will take that shit to, like, the nth degree if I start.
I'll end up as Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, man.
Lead
Yeah,
priest.
I wish, yeah. Maybe I might be black. Yeah, so I know that about myself, and I know that I just can't start things because I will just take it to the absolute extreme.
Yeah, cool. Yep. So the Wellness Studio,
Yes.
you had a funny story recently regarding the sauna.
It's a little bit too soon, man. But it's a little bit fresh. Yeah, we had a funny story. I'll try to wrap it up quickly. But this sauna was lost for like 2 weeks.
Let's take it back further from that. So
Yeah.
you can order a sauna in Australia. It's going to cost you, a good 4-seater or something like that.
Full cedar with cedar wood would be like
With
20K.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So you being thrifty, you're able to find one online somewhere. It was made. It was sent over. Talk us through that little process of finding it, and then the lead on to it getting shipped and where it is.
Of course, yeah. So obviously,
And I don't want you to feel too much pain through this, but I am going to laugh because you're the funniest man I know.
it's
Go
fine.
on.
It's fucked though. So you can buy straight from suppliers, right? We all know this. I made it my goal, my mission to buy directly from a supplier as opposed to buying from an Australian company where there's the markup, right? So found this place overseas.
Where?
In China. And so says it all really. So yeah, I found that.
Infiltrate the dealer,
Find the supplier. Infiltrate. Yeah, it's literally what I did. So I did a heap of research, checked a ton of reviews, had various conversations with sellers, felt good about this one seller. And so, so they shipped it over, custom made sauna. We've got black cedar wood, control with my phone, got the LED lights. What was really a sell for me is that I could customize the fuck out of this. So, which you can't do if you're going to buy from an Australian brand.
Yeah.
So they go to ship it over. It's taking an exorbitant amount of time, right? I did this shit ages ago, like back in August. It's December now. Ordered this stuff. It says it's arrived and delivered in Australia, and some guy called Ben has signed for it. So I'm calling fucking... You've got me sorted! Yeah.
My fat ass needs.
What are you doing with my money, Fred?
It's a Brandon's house. George's house.
Yeah, and
Where's my sorter?
Yeah. And so I'm ringing around trying to find these people. People keep like transferring me. I can't seem to find out where this sauna is. I finally get onto someone. They're like, all right, it's at a depot in Sunshine.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. I call Dad. I'm like, Dad, I need you to go to Sunshine tomorrow morning. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I need you. I'm like,
Pete's so confused.
I'm like, I need you.
I know there would be no context around that at all.
None. I was just drop everything and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad's a legend. Always happy to help me out. Love him for that. And so, he goes to Sunshine, and he's like, I'm like, your one goal is to confirm the location of this sauna so I can get a courier to go there, right? He goes there. He calls me. He goes, George, no one speaks English here. I was like, I don't know where it is.
I'm packed for work for the day. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Somebody sort it.
I know. After a little while, he finds it. He said some lovely lady called Norvin showed him where it is, and he took a photo of it. He's like, it's massive. And so he had an idea that he was going to strap it to the top of his Ford Territory. And my mother told me this the night before, and then they were having a fight about
There's concern.
the fact that he's not going to do that.
There's concern.
Massive concern. This thing weighs heaps, right? So we confirm that it's there. I'm like, all right, sweet. I'll send a courier. I send a courier there the next morning to get it. The courier calls me. And he's like, oh, I don't have straps. I'm like,
It's your job, man.
I've just sent you $700 because you're a courier and you don't have straps. I'm like, stay there. I'll drive there right now with straps. Right? He's like, no, I gotta leave. I gotta do this. I'm like, stay there. And this motherfucker left, right?
You've already paid the man.
I've already paid the man. So I drive up to Sunshine. As I'm driving, don't do this, I'm organising on Airtasker to get someone else to come and do it. Some guy who has a Hilux tells me that he can pick it up. And I'm thinking, you're underestimating how big this package is. He goes, there's no height restrictions. I go, so you're going to lay it like 2 meters, over 2 meters in the air? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I have no other option. I have to accept this, right? So we get there, and he goes to strap it down with one strap. I'm like, brother, can we do 2 straps? Like, what do you mean you're going to use one strap? This thing is massive. And so he's got it. I'm supposed to be leading him back to Geelong. I turn out of Sunshine. I take a wrong turn. I'm heading back to Melbourne. I'm on the West Gate.
Yeah.
Bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
I've added 40 minutes to my trip.
Yeah.
Right? Here, I've lost him, so I've lost eyes on the sauna. This guy could just take off, right? And so I eventually get back to Geelong, and there was a car crash 10 minutes from the turn-off at Herne Hill. And I gained another 40 minutes.
Last Friday.
This is last
It
Friday.
was.
There was massive.
I navigated through Geelong and tried to go the back ways. It was hell.
Mate, you love those back ways. So we finally get there. We had a forklift to put this onto the Hilux, and when we got to my house, there was no forklift. So we have to tear this package apart, and we have to try and take it one by one. This thing is swaying, it's moving, the heater's falling out, there's glass, it starts pouring down rain. There's only 2 of us. People on the side of the road are walking past because there's a walking track there. I had these 2 randoms come over. They're helping us unload the sauna. And then we start putting it together in my backyard. There's electrical components exposed. There's rain coming down. And we get to the... big titties, back in the mic. So we get to the end of assembling it, and there's no roof. There's no roof on the sauna, and that is exposing all the electrical components. And I'm at just breaking point at this point. I'm called my clients. I said I'm not coming in. I'll cancel my haircut. I can't. I just got to deal with this situation. And so I'm putting tarp and everything over it. That's what I did.
Blue canvas tarp.
Blue canvas tarp. And then I spent that night trying to find someone to come and just build a roof the next day, right? One of my mates says that he could come over and do the wiring and maybe help out with the roof or whatever. He gets there. I've sent him $1,000 and I get all these aggressive and angry messages about how it's too big of a job and how this isn't his area of expertise and this isn't how you get stuff done, and then he just fucking bailed, right? Literally bailed. And I'm like, no, I know this isn't how you get stuff done. I'm very underprepared for this. I am just in a bit of a bind here, so I'm looking for any help that you can give, right? I'm paying you. I'm not looking for a fucking favor, right? Do you want more money for this? Is that what you want? Like, what do I got to do to get this done?
Let me buy your love.
Let me buy your love, all right? Please accept me. No. And so, yeah, he bails, and I call my mum, and I explain what's going on.
Sid gets from the tools.
I call Cindy, and she's like, are you all right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking not. And I actually just started bawling my eyes out, guys. Because
It was that traumatic.
2 days of just major stress. Because what?
I think it's a 10K
sauna, possibly getting fucked up.
To be fair, this comes in the back of you're busy. You are flat out.
Yes.
You are flat out.
Flat out.
So to add something into the mix here where you are incredibly busy,
yes,
it doesn't help.
It doesn't help. And part of me moving into this house has been stabilizing myself after my marriage separation last year. And it's like, why are these hurdles coming up when I'm just trying to get to a place of chill or whatever? So it was a massive challenge. I kept thinking, like, what is this situation trying to teach me? Because everything that could have gone wrong literally went wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that moment, I just needed to cry. Yeah.
You're fine. Yeah. Well, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
But
That's the first time I've actually heard that.
I know. Yeah.
You wouldn't tell me for a little bit. We've had a few conversations. And you're like, I'm not talking about it. It was that hard. You love life's a movie. What genre?
Oh, yes, yeah. My love life is a movie. What genre would that be? In the past, horror. In the past, horror.
Friday the 13th.
Didn't know how to communicate. Didn't know how to, be in relationships or just be, the best partner that I could be. So, in the past, probably horror. Now it's more of a... I would say just your classic kind of rom-com. I love to splash humour, entertainment, fun, but I also really enjoy the intimate side of dating. The cuddles, the hand-holding, the arm tickles, the back tickles, the head scratches. Like, physical touch is my love language and words of affirmation. So having that relationship experience is really beautiful for me. Obviously without... getting sort of back into one just yet, but I love all that stuff. That's what G's me up. That's actually what recharges me quite a lot is physical touch. Yeah.
Don't come near me.
No. All good, bro.
What do you got for me? I know that you prepared quite a bit, so I don't want to rob you of that right.
I did. We're gonna have to do another one, man. Okay, so
we can.
In the cyberpunk home.
Yeah. Come to my house. Yeah, let me see.
Sitting in the sauna.
Okay.
The roofed sauna.
Camera overhead.
Hey, we could wear the mics from the inside and it could be peering in.
Okay, Brandon. Can you explain the time that you were running 2 phones to me, please?
Huh. Well, okay, maybe. I think the chuffed laugh there more than anything is my life has not changed. I still run 2 phones. Strictly work for one of them. I can say now. But how old were we? 15, 16? So running 2 phones as a 15 or 16-year-old sounds like a drug problem.
You could barely afford 1 phone at that age. 25 cents a text.
So the idea of having 2 phones at the time, I had a girlfriend, a high school sweetheart, and she was with Telstra.
Yeah.
And if we all remember, if you're around our age of around 30, that's 25 cents a text. You only wanted to get $20 of credit. I can't even remember how often it was, but you didn't want to burn it too much. Texts were valuable. You only had, 160 or 180 characters per text. So there was 50 cents that was flowing in out of... That was like
investment.
one... Oh,
That's financial investment towards the relationship with that person.
That's a lot.
That changes the dynamic
it
a little
does.
bit, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're concise with your messages. You're getting your point across.
I had no way to accumulate funds as a 15-year-old.
The allowance from your parents or the little bit of work that you are doing is all going to credit to talk to girls. That's hard work. So I run a second phone because I had a girlfriend at the time that was with Telstra. And Telstra at the time was 1 cent tax. So that it was open-ended that you could send a very short message and then an XX and it all made sense and it was worthwhile, where other people just weren't getting replies. So I think it was really beneficial to the relationship at the time for me to be running 2 phones. I can't remember exactly what kind of phone it was, but I remember being... I believe that we might have been together going for a walk around the river and we're on the footbridge, the walk across bridge, and I was wearing shorts at the time. And this bridge is lined with bars, obviously, so you don't fall off, but like gap bars. And I had my normal phone and I had my 1 cent text phone in my pocket. I think we might have been talking on the bridge and I put my leg to read. There was once upon a time that I had much skinnier legs, believe it or not. And I put my leg through and lo and behold, the phone popped out of the pocket and I'm just sitting there leaning and just saying like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then there's a slap on the ground. I was like, oh no, never going to be able to talk to my girlfriend again.
I will never ever forget that splash, bro. It was so funny. Like the phone represented Talia, right? And when I remember we were going to go down to Chilwell Primary School. We're going to go kick the footy or whatever. And I remember being at your house in Nicholas Street, and we were chilling there, and then we were about to leave the house, and you're like, should I bring both phones? And I was like, yeah, bring both phones. She might text you.
And that's no different to us now, to be fair. If we're still talking about a girl, we're still discussing text messages, what you should say, how to return serve.
Oh, it is chess, isn't it? I love those football memes of like Jose Mourinho just like moving shit like around the board. It's like
that's us.
When
that's
the 10
us
out of 10
discussing.
replies ha ha, and you got to keep the conversation going, and it's like
it's tough work. Hey, welcome to the podcast where we're going to talk about everything work, life, love, and of course the in-between. This is episode 1.5. We have done this one before. We had a few technical difficulties. So we're going to have a little bit of fun and just probably tackle some things that we would have liked to have had a chat about originally. But yeah, we can pretty much go from there.
But hey, let's go for round 2. Let's boss it.
What makes you tick day to day, do you reckon, George?
What makes me tick? A deep-seated need to be loved. No. What I would say is, so I'm an extremist. I do things to the extreme. If I decide I'm doing something, I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to do it to the absolute crazy best of my abilities. Most of the time, right? During a day-to-day, this is funny. I went to Strawberry Fields recently with some friends, and I just kept saying throughout the whole festival, like when I was at the DJ set, fuck us up, fuck me up. Tell us. Yeah. And so whenever I'm training, in my head, what is going through my head is I want to fuck myself up. Like I want to feel the most pain I can give myself possible, right? So in a day-to-day, it's like, how can I get these extremes to happen throughout my day? Because I think life can be boring, it can be pedestrian. How can I experience extreme versions of Mother Nature, pain? Like, how can I get more of that into my day? So
working out with you is a challenge in itself, because I know that those workouts, whenever I do one, I'm pushing myself to the absolute limit. And they're essentially drop sets. Correct me if I'm wrong, but drop sets until you're burnt out, where they're fail sets. And I love working out with you. I feel like I get a fair bit more out of myself. And I know that's probably how you give out to your clients as well.
Yep.
But yeah, props on how you do those.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I mean, I would more accurately say it's more the first set is the most important. We base all our progress off that first set. not necessarily drop sets, but what I will do is I will use a theory that is called the ejaculation theory, and this is how I train. This sounds ridiculous, but hear me out, brother.
I'm going to hear you out. I'm listening.
Right.
You've got all these.
So what I like to do is when people start their sets in the gym, what they'll do is imagine a rev meter. I'm here. This is 0. We've got the red line over here. People will start their set and they'll hit the red line, right? And they'll just do it like that. What you've got to do, or the best way to get the most out of your body is, how can I edge myself close to my climax, but not actually climax? Yes. So I'll go and then I'll get a little bit of a rest intra-set, and then I'll go and I'll teeter on this edging close to climax, right? And what that allows me to do is if I was to just start and go to redline, I would do 10 reps. But doing this edging theory and controlling my orgasm is what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to get maybe 20 reps out, okay? Because remember, fellas, you don't want to just get in there and pump as hard and as fast as you can and come and blow your load and she's all over in 2 minutes.
The gym's a mess.
Right?
The gym is a mess.
You've got to finesse. You've got to finesse to get the most out of your body, to get the most out of the sexual experience, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's the theory.
That's the theory. Yeah, no, I enjoy it. So you said before, what are your extracurricular activities that you really enjoy doing? You can say festivals.
We can
say festivals.
We can say festivals.
It's an extracurricular.
Yeah.
Your favourite?
Strawberry Fields.
Strawberry Fields. Now, I wasn't there, but I've heard that you have a bit of a feud with some Teletubbies. It's ongoing. Do they live in your nightmares? Mm-hmm. Tell me a bit about what happened.
Brother, I think I live in their nightmares. So I'll give a little bit of context. At the time, I was playing football. This is when I was roughly about 21-ish. I was playing football at the time, and my father had told me to watch the 1989 grand final, Geelong versus Hawthorn. And if you've ever watched that grand final, it's just blokes picking off blokes.
Dermy takes a hard hit.
Dermy takes a hard hit from Mark Yates coming off the wing. People are lining each other up left, right, and centre, right? Gary Ablett got Dibba Domenico, et cetera, et cetera. So I had just watched this grand final only a couple months prior, right? And
Live
so
rent-free in your head.
So this is the mind frame I was in. I was a footy boy. I love to tackle, love the physicality, you know? And so we get to Strawberry Fields and we're dancing on the dance floor and this group of Teletubbies wanders over. And these weren't very friendly Teletubbies, I must admit. And so they were kind of dissing these girls that we were with, and they were sort of just not being respectful of their frames and just bumping into them and pushing them around, right? There was heaps of space for everybody, but they were just, for whatever reason, just gallivanting around and showing.
Not being Teletubbies, man.
They were gallivanting around. So I thought, you know what? How dare you come into our circle, our space, and act a fool? So what I did was, we were at the stage. I walked 25 meters.
You're not a violent man.
I'm not a violent man. I'm not a violent man. I'm not a violent man.
Stick up for yourself, but you're not a violent man.
Not a violent man. I'm a massive, passionate lover, everything like that. But at the time, you know, just watched the 89 grand final, was playing football, loved the physicality of life. I was like, I'm going to get into a full sprint and I'm going to get myself horizontal and I'm going to tackle this guy to the ground. I'm not going to bash him. I'm not going to punch him.
Can we call him a guy? Can we call him a green Teletubby?
We can call him a green Teletubby. Yeah, let's call him that. So, I don't know if you guys have ever done running while you've been high or drunk, but you just put 100% effort into it, and it feels like you're going so fast, right? So I got into a full sprint. I was also doing marathons and sprinting at the time. So I got into a full sprint, and I got sideways, and when my shoulder hit his belly, it was, you know how you clap hands with someone and it's like a perfect clap? It sat perfectly, and I just knew that I got him straight in his
And the meter wide Teletubby.
Yeah, the meter wide Teletubby, and just caned him to the ground. And I don't know if you've ever seen sort of NFL highlight reels, but when someone gets hit and so they're going for a catch, they're here and the person hits them and their back goes from here and it slaps the ground really fast. So that time period is really, really small. That is exactly what happened when I tackled this Teletubby. And then I think I just roughhoused him or something like after that. And my friend at the time, Jacob Ramiup, grabbed me, ripped me up, and he looks at me and he goes, "You've got to get out of here." So I was like,
They're the Teletubbies. That's when they swarm. They came from everywhere to get you.
They did, but footy boy, I broke these tackles. I sprinted back to my campsite.
He's being hunted by Teletubbies.
Yeah. got back to my campsite. I thought, "Fuck, I need a costume change here." I found a snapback. I put the snapback on, and I just changed my shirt and went back to the stage, and no one knew who I was.
The hat backwards guy.
Yes.
Very good.
So yeah, that was an experience with Strawberry Fields.
Very good.
Yes.
We'll change direction a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think we'll change direction. Mm-hmm. What's the worst date idea that you've ever heard of?
The worst date idea that I've ever heard of. I was actually discussing this with a client yesterday, and she goes, "Have you ever taken a date, like a first date, to the movies?" And I go, "If I never wanted to see that person again, I would take them to the movies." Who would go to the movies?
First date to the movies is quite an interesting one.
What, I'm going to sit there, face a screen, and I'm not going to get to know you?
Very teenage things. I think the first date at the movies is something that you do when you're growing up because there's a little bit of social awkwardness to the scenario. I think that that at that point in time that you're really struggling to have a conversation with a female. One, you're extremely nervous. Two, you've got no idea about yourself or who you're meant to be putting out into the universe. That it's really easy to sit down and have or watch a movie because that's the focus. It's taking the edge off. That's what you're there to do. You know that that the attraction is there, and then you can sneak a kiss in at some point or spend the whole movie making out whatever it is. As an adult, if someone said let's go to the movies as a first date, you're out of your mind.
Out of your mind. Out of your mind. You don't have social skills?
Like you can't sit there and talk to me?
Yeah.
There's a courting process that has to go on here.
There is. I need to know who you are. For girls, they need to know whether we're a killer, what job we have, whether we are a safe bet.
We laugh at that first one, but that is a legitimate.
It's a legitimate.
Yeah, there's a legitimate
thing.
I have copped that a couple of times. You know, I need to find out whether you're a serial killer or not.
I had someone directly ask me.
I just told them that I am. It's the ultimate icebreaker.
Yeah, it is.
But yes, if you had to go on a movie date, what would you do to spice it up? Do you sit there and talk through the movie?
Yeah. So I need subtitles. I need to pause the movie and ask you what the fuck's going on, because
you're not paying attention.
I'm probably thinking about kissing you. I'm probably thinking about doing other stuff. I'm probably not paying that much attention if we're watching a movie, right? So yeah, I need some stuff explained to me. But how would I spice it up? Well, in the past, like when I was at Strawberry Fields, I wore a snapback. Maybe I'd wear a snapback. Maybe I'd wear a leopard print shirt. Maybe I'd have 4 or 5 caffeine drinks before I go and rock up shaking, lips trembling, foaming at the mouth. I don't know. Yeah, that would be something that I do to kind of spice up that movie day, because that would be a boring day.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it at all.
Yeah.
Given that this is the episode 1.5 and we have done one before, the explanation for the video of the party shirts, you might not be able to see right here, but George and I are wearing, whilst it's party up the top, we are exactly the opposite down below.
Yes.
I don't know whether you can see, we've both got the TNs on. He's got black socks on, I've got white socks. He's got white cargos, I've got black cargos.
Yep.
I thought it was a good introduction into the opposite nature of the outfit, and maybe not quite opposite personalities. I think that we're similar.
What I love about us, Brandon, is we were talking about it in the previous episode about how people date someone that is the yin to their yang and they balance each other out. When I get into a relationship next, I want someone to match my crazy, but also up my crazy. And what I love about our bromance is that you will up my crazy. It was crazier when we were like 18.
I wouldn't say crazy. I would say that we were idiots and we were
idiots.
stupid.
We were idiots. I remember your mum said if one more bad thing happens, you can't hang out with George. But I love that. It was like,
I'm a grown man. I'm like 17.
I'm a grown man. Mum,
I reckon the old lady said that to me when I was like 16. She's like, you're probably not good for each other.
Yeah, I know. Too funny. But that's what I like. I like being around people that up my crazy and keep that going. And I think that's a dynamic that we share together. So I would say that we're similar in that sense.
Yeah.
Both bosses, both kings, both princes. need we use any more adjectives to describe?
You could probably describe that there's many things that I could get called that they're probably some of the nicer things that have been said about me. So
You do. People have said bad stuff to you, really?
no, never.
In your life?
Never.
People have had issues.
What have I ever done wrong, George?
Oh.
Nah, we're good people at heart. That's the main thing. You sort of spoke about a relationship in terms of what you would like to get out of the next person. You did touch on that. So, are you good at picking up on being gaslit?
Well, I'm the one that does the gaslighting, so yeah, of course I can pick up on. No, I don't. I'm very healthy these days, guys. Going through marriage separation, you're forced to learn communication skills, conflict resolution. That is the best course for personal development that you can go through. Is a separation, a long-term relationship. So I feel very calm about that and can joke about the gaslighting.
Have you been gaslit this year?
I have been gaslit
To an extreme level, or just sort of joking where you've been able to pick it up and shut it down pretty
to an
quick?
extreme level, and then I was faced with two choices. So I could either, one, communicate my boundaries, express that I felt distaste for what.
So you felt it on straight away. You knew that you were being gaslit and you were trying to push back on it, or you were stuck in two minds mid being gaslit and.
I was stuck in two minds mid being gaslit.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, yes, George, you have your boundaries. Yes, George, you have things that you can accept and things that you don't want to accept. But you have a really good time with this person sexually, probably some of the best you've ever had. So you can either say goodbye to that because you want to respect your boundaries, or you can say goodbye to your boundaries and your self-respect. And you can keep hanging out with them. So I don't care. Fuck it. Like, I'm not going to date
If you
this
know it's
person.
not going anywhere in the longer term, are you just hanging out in that moment to be in that moment?
Exactly.
Despite the demoralization that you're going to cop longer
Yes.
term from it. What do you got for me?
So, Brandon, you're Australian Croatian. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain to me, what is it about the bright lights of New York City, the gambling in Las Vegas, the sports, and American culture that just gets you going so much?
Wow. That's it. Yeah, good one. I don't believe it's the destination that you go, that a city's a city no matter where you are in the world. It's the people that are there, the environment that you're in, that really makes a place special. And there are parts of America that I don't love, but the States as a whole, especially the South and especially Texans, are so super welcoming, and they're so proud of who they are, where they're from, that they go out of their way for you. And I just love that. I love hospitality. I find myself pretty hospice. I love having people and showing people what I do, where I'm from. And I think that really resonated with me quite a bit. So from that aspect, feeling the wholesome nature of what Texas sort of had to give. I don't like New Yorkers. That's as a whole.
What about Mark Bricanto, man?
Lamo.
Cream on the outside.
Cream on the inside. What is this, Matt? Gucci?
Brandon does phenomenal impersonations of this Italian, New York, and guy.
Okay, I lied. I don't have a dislike for all New Yorkers, but it's very busy. I know we see it on movies quite a bit that people are head down, move to the next location, they're moving quick. It is what it is in regard, and I don't like that saying, because you can always do something about it. But that is a situation where people are. That's a different culture. You're not going to go on and be able to change it. You're there to experience it. The slower pace of down south, excuse me, is phenomenal. Like, it's just unreal. People, and I believe it's a sunshine thing, and that even in Australia, here, back home, up north, people, they go at a different pace. The sunshine affects the brain in a different way, I think. And like, I'm not an expert, I'm not a neuroscientist, but whether it just makes you happier in general, I'm a big fan of that. And I don't think us Victorians get called it enough, but we're Southerners that are used to the cold, and we suck.
We get it. We definitely get it in our head.
Yeah.
Brandon, also, you've been known to go by the name of Big City. Why would your friends describe you as Big City?
Oh.
Why would we do that?
I've never actually thought about this answer too much, but I would you'll be able to maybe you probably thought about it a lot more than what I have. I would say big city. I worked up in the city as when we were 21, out of a head office at a bank, and I was up and down quite a bit. We enjoyed going out in the city, and I probably did my best work at nightclubs in the city. So the big city hoods was become a bigger figure than what it needed to be most of the time, but a representation of maybe an alter ego.
I think so. I think it speaks to the grandiosity and the louder for life personality that you have. Like, this man cannot be contained to a small rural town. This man needs big cities to live and to be stimulated.
Has big city been replaced though by Hollywood?
The Croatian sensation, Brandon.
That was well delivered, wasn't it?
Has it been replaced by that? Has it?
Oh, I thought that.
There's so many names.
Well, there are. I'm a big nickname person, so nicknames for me are a massive part of my life and how I give other people nicknames. And I think that I probably cop so many nicknames for better and worse because I am a big nickname giver.
Yeah. Because I've crossed so many people.
But the nickname of Hollywood is probably replaced.
Hollywood Hooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably replaced big city more than anything. That's what I'd probably say. I get called Hollywood less or more now than it is big city.
I love that. And
it's flashy lights, man.
Okay.
It's all the glitz and the glamour.
That's true.
We're always chasing something that we don't quite have at the moment. And I think I said this to you recently. I enjoy having nicer things because I think it drives me further to have nice things. And I'm not incredibly caught up with having designer items. I like to look nice. I like to have nice things. And I think that as a natural part of human evolution is you always want something better for you. So me chasing better things is good motivation for me.
What I'm hearing is you're trying to create an aura, and you want things that you associate with in a day-to-day to kind of match that aura that you're trying to bring.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And it comes back to what I was saying in episode 1 about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the very top is self-actualization. So if us as humans, if we're pushing towards that greatest version of ourselves or that highest potential, we are happy. And it sounds like you found something that connects you to that, similar to how on a train track, when there's a train going straight or it's about to veer off, there's a lever that you pull and then it can go down that track. For you, your lever that you pull is having things that align with your aura. So you can pull that lever, Brandon can now go be himself. If he doesn't pull that lever, Brandon's going off in that other direction and he's not able to embody who he truly is. Big city, Hollywood Hooter, he can't embody these things if he doesn't kind of do that.
I do. I'm a big firm believer in working hard. You have to work hard, and I really enjoy part of my life where I can work hard when I need to work hard. And I think that I've got a job that really allows me to do that autonomously and be able to do it from different locations and also have a clientele base that are okay with that as well. I try, like when I'm working with current clients and I am away and I'm doing something, my laptop never leaves my side. It has to come with me because I'm a one-man band that does work that way. So even when it seems like I'm gallivanting around, I'm still very much working. I'm still very much answering the phone, replying to emails. And if someone calls you and they're like, oh, seeing that you've been doing this, like, sorry to interrupt. And it's like, no, you're not interrupting. I'm working and I'm here to help. And I find that a lot of people can find that hard to understand the balance, but I've worked really hard on balance to be able to do and be able to consume life the way that I want to consume it. And this year has been really good for that. So be able to push that on further and sort of seeing how I'm going to go with that further will be nice.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, I've worked with you personally in acquiring the loan for my house. And what I love about, which you kind of just touched on then, is whenever I'd ask a question or whenever we'd kind of finish talking, there was that, if you need anything else from me, like, please reach out to me. Like, it was always so open-ended. I never felt annoying for asking questions. I always felt like I could ask more questions.
It's not transactional. Like, that's the big part. What I do is not transactional. You're a client of mine. And as long as you're happy, you're a client of mine for life. And I always try to make people as happy as possible. over that period, because it's not just transactional. You've bought a house, but it's not as if that house is one and done forever. You have plans, you have life aspirations. You know, your life evolves, and I want to be part of that life that evolves every 18 months to 2 years whenever we catch up and we do a review. So it's a really, really big part of what I do and how I like to structure everything that I do as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm really proud of you, man. Honestly, like, side note, just really proud of everything you've achieved, and you inspire me to obviously be a better man. And I love that about our friendship and how we can push each other, like with fitness, with financial goals. Like,
I wish I'd had your 6-pack, but like I'll take the trade off for having a beer every other day.
Yeah,
but, it is all about commitment, and as I touched on earlier, that you don't know moderation, but the moderation is what drives you to be all in on everything that you do, and that's why you are successful with what you do, and you continue to find your groove, and you continue to find things that you love, and a lot of people look up to that. So, no, not everybody has to like you, and I think that that's going to be common ground. Like, not everyone's going to love us sitting down and having a conversation. They're going to call us a wanker or very self-absorbed. But I think the idea of doing this is that we're here to have fun, and we just want to enjoy life. And if people are not there to appreciate someone having fun or talking through things that they want to talk about to a bigger scale or engage with people, that's not our problem. That's not my problem. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm not everybody's niche. But what I am here to have is fun, and I would love people to come along for a ride to see what sort of fun that we have.
It's funny, man. I think I actually really needed to kind of hear that, because even just sort of talking now in my head, I'm kind of thinking, I've really told a lot of stories about my personal life today. But you're right. We're having fun. We're goofing around. You know, you don't have to like everybody. Everybody doesn't have to like you. And I think that's just like a really crucial thing. What I learned from marriage separation or whatever is just be as transparent and open and honest, and just let people know who you actually are. Like, don't try to be someone else, because that will make you miserable, you know? Just always be yourself and be open. And I really try to embody that, and so do you.
Last thing before we go. Opinion on love bombing.
Opinion on love bombing. So,
can you get caught up in it? Do you find yourself doing it, or do you know when somebody else is doing it to you?
I used to not know when I was doing it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I used to not know when I was doing it. Comes back to the whole we talked before. I'm an extremist. Whatever I do it to the nth degree. And part of that is interacting in a romantic way with girls. So, yeah, I would say I definitely was not aware of the fact that I was doing it, but learnt about the term.
I think that's been a real big learning curve this year, and that I've gotten into situationships or relationships from doing it. But you more or less do it because you're really interested in somebody. I think the biggest part of, if you do realize that you're doing it, is not to talk about future plans. I think that's probably where you're almost gaslighting somebody into a situation where you are.
But talking about the future plans is also, it's paying respect to the connection that you have forged with them over that 1 to 2 to 3 week period. It's like, hey, I respect you enough to even possibly have this conversation with you. That's a massive compliment in and of itself. But what it also does is it really communicates that you are looking to go sort of long term, but you don't know anything about this person yet. So you need to
How long does it take you to think it takes you to figure somebody out or understand them on a deeper level? I would say minimum 12 months. Minimum.
Ooh.
If you can get past a period where you are doing... If you can get past your open stage of a relationship where it is the honeymoon phase, if you can get past that and you still really love the person as a whole, I think that you're doing well.
I think you are doing well if you do that. I also think that love is like a choice. I think you can recapture that honeymoon phase at any point if you're both willing to put in effort. Love, people think it's this feeling. It's not. It's actually a verb. So the more you show love, the more there will be love.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was talking to someone the other day. They go, "Yeah, I just don't feel the same about my partner anymore." And I go, "That's."
Are you putting in the effort?
That's normal. That's normal. You don't feel that way. Like,
it's ebbs and flows.
Give love. So how long would it take? It might not even have to take 12 months. I think if you're seeing someone for 3 months and you go traveling with them for 2 weeks, you'll find out everything you need to know about that beautiful man or woman that you plan on pursuing romantically.
It's been fun again. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Thanks for watching the Hey Yo podcast. We'll see you very soon.